Okay, today we are going to start lesson 9 on unit 2, which is about factorization. Okay, factorization by identifying the highest common factor, which is HCF, the highest common factor. Okay, guys, on the beginning, if there is a number like 24, for example, okay, actually I can factorize this number into different, okay, factors. Like the first one is 2 times 12. Also 24 equals 3 times 8. Okay, and so on. So this is simply the factorization. Okay, so our lesson related to the factorization of algebraic terms and the numbers. Like this one, if there is a term like 4x squared, actually this one maybe it will equal 4 times x squared, or it equals 2x times 2x. Okay, so this is how to factorize, okay, the term. The meaning of the common factor, guys, okay, the meaning of the common factor, actually the common factor of two numbers is the number that divides each of the two numbers. Like this, if there is 4x and 2x squared. Okay, so now the common factor here, I'm going to check the numbers or the coefficient first. So the coefficients here, 4 and 2. So the common factor between this 4 and 2, actually it's 2, because both of them is divisible by 2. Okay, so this is the meaning of the common factor. So the common factor, guys, again, is the number that divides each of the two numbers or the two terms. Okay, then what about x and x squared? The common factor here, both of them is divisible by x. Okay, I have to choose the lowest power. So there is x at the power of 1 and x at the power of 2. So the lowest power is x. Okay, so here the common factor is 2x between these two terms. Okay. Okay, so let's check one more example like this. If there is a term like 4x and the other term like 6x squared. If I want to get the common factor here, guys, actually, okay, I have to check the coefficients first, which is 4 and 6. Okay, 4 and 6, both of them is divisible by 2. So this means the common factor for 4 and 6 is 2. Okay, and what about the algebraic term, which is, I mean the simple x and x squared? I said that in this case, we have to choose the lowest power. Okay, so the lowest power here is x at the power 1. So here, x. So now, guys, the common factor is 2x. Okay, 2x. So this is the common factor. Okay. The next point, which is about the meaning of the highest common factor. What's this one actually? H.C.F. The highest common factor. Actually, guys, the highest common factor for two numbers is the greatest number that divides each of the two numbers, okay? And we can denote it by HCF, highest common factor, like this. If there is 4x squared and 16x power 3. So the highest common factor, okay, the highest common factor here, first I have to check the two numbers, 16 and 4. Okay, so what is the highest common factor? I mean the number which they both of them are divisible by this number. Actually, it will be 4. Okay, and then x squared and x power 3 or x cubed. Okay, the common factor here, or the highest common factor here, okay, actually it's the lowest power, which is x power 2. So now, guys, the HCF, or the highest common factor, is 4x power 2. Okay, again, the definition of the highest common factor, or the meaning of the highest common factor. the highest common factor for two numbers is the greatest number that divides each of the two numbers. Okay, so for the numbers, the highest, okay, or the greatest number divides each of the two numbers. Okay, what about the highest common factor for two algebraic terms? Okay, actually, it's the greatest term divides each of the two terms. Okay, like this one, 4x squared and 16x power 3. So again, we said that 4 and 16. So the highest common factor here is 4. Okay, because both of them is divisible by 4. And what about x squared and x power 3? Okay, of course, as I told you, we have to choose the lowest power here, power 2, here power 3, so it will be x power 2. So now the highest common factor is 4x squared. Just 1 second, guys. I want to clarify one point. We said that this is the HCF, or the highest common factor. Okay, guys, now 4 and 16 actually is divided by 2. And x squared and x power 3 is divisible by 3, is divisible by x, sorry. So 2x is a common factor. Right? Because both of these two terms is divisible by 2x. But if I want to get the highest common factor, so in this case, as I told you, 4 and 16, the maximum number or the greatest number that divides the two numbers, 4. And x squared and x power 3, then I have to choose the lowest power. So 4x power 2. In this lesson, guys, actually, I'm dealing with the highest common factor, the greatest value, which is divides the two numbers. Okay? Okay, then the steps to find the highest common factor. Again, I will explain it again, guys. The steps, okay, of getting the highest common factor. First point, I have to find the highest common factor of the numerical coefficients. Okay, like if there is 12x power 2 and 30, I will make it 18 x power 3. Now, the first step, I'm going to find the highest common factor for the numerical coefficients, 12 and 18. Okay, both of these numbers, 12 and 18, is divisible by 2. Okay, and also divisible by 3. Okay, and also divisible by 6. Okay, so 12 divisible by 2 means 6. 12 divisible by 3 equal 4. 12 divisible by 6 equal 2. Okay, and 18 also is divisible by 2 and 3 and 6. So the highest here is 6. So the highest common factor for these numbers equals 6. So this is related to the numerical coefficients. Okay, then the next point I have to get, okay, I have to get the lowest or the smallest index for the variables. So here, x squared and x power 3. So I have to check the two indices now. The two indices, one of them is x power 2 and the other is x power 3. Okay. Okay, so again, guys, I said that 12 and 18, okay, both of them is divisible by 6, which is the greatest or the highest common factor here between 12 and 18. Okay, and the next point is to get the highest common factor between the variables. Okay, so between the variables x power 2 and x power 3. So now I said we have to choose the lowest or the smallest index here. So here x power 2. So the highest common factor will be 6x power 2. Okay, so guys, again briefly, how to factorize by identifying the highest common factor, which is HCF. First point, find the HCF for the coefficients. HCF for numerical numbers or coefficients. Okay? Then HCF for the variable. Okay? Like coefficients like 3, variable like x, by the way. So when I said that coefficient, so I mean 3. Variable, so I mean x. Okay, so first step, find HCF. Okay, then I have to put the HCF outside two brackets. So HCF, then two brackets like this. Okay, then divide each of the terms by the expression of the HCF. Okay, so after that we have to write the quotient inside here. Okay, let's solve one example so that we can understand this exactly. Okay, so the first example. Okay, the first example. Factorize each of the following by identifying the highest common factor. It's 5a plus 15b. Okay, so guys, I have to identify the HCF here. HCF equals here 5 and 15. So what is the highest common factor here? What is the highest or the greatest number which can divide these two numbers? Actually, 5 and 15 means 5. A and B, do we have a common factor here? No, because they are totally different. So the highest common factor equal 5. Now, guys, the second step, I said that we have, okay, to write down the highest common factor outside two brackets. Okay, so 5 here is the highest common factor, then a bracket like this. So divide the first term by the highest common factor, then write down the quotient inside. So 15a divided by, 5a divided by 5 equals only a. So here just the remaining will be a, then a positive sign. So plus 15b divided by 5. So 15 divided by 5 means 3, then b. So this is the simplest one or the simplest example about the factorization. Let's solve one more example. Let's solve one more. Ten xy minus 8xz. Okay, now I have to get the HCF, the first step. Guys, 10 and 8, what is the highest common factor here? Actually, 10 and 8 is divisible by 2, so 2. Now, xy and xz. Okay, so there is one common here, x and x, so 2x only. Y is not repeated or not exist on the second term, and z not exist on the first term, so the highest common factor only 2x. Now, highest common factor, then brackets. 2x, what will be the remaining from the first term? Divide the first term by the highest common factor, then write down the quotient inside. 10 divided by 2 means 5. X divided by x means 1. Y divided by 1, because there is no y here, so means y. Then negative sign. 8 xz divided by 2x. 8 divided by 2 means 4. X divided by x means 1. Then z divided by 1, because we don't have z here, so 4z. That's it. Okay, one more example. The next example is 12x power 2 minus 4xy. How to factorize this one? First, identify the highest common factor. So it will equal 12 and 4. Okay, the highest common factor here actually is 4 because the two numbers are divisible by 4. Okay, and not only divisible by 4, the maximum number, okay, which can divide the two numbers is 4 actually. Okay, then x squared and xy. So x is common here, x squared and x. So I said we have to choose the lowest power, so x. Then can we use y? Of course no, because y not exist on the first term. So the highest common factor here is 4x. Now place the highest common factor and the brackets. Divide the first term by the highest common factor. 12x squared divided by 4x. Okay, 12 divided by 4 means 3. X squared divided by x. I said that we subtract the powers or the indices. So x squared divided by x means x. Then negative sign. 4xy divided by 4x. Okay, so 4 divided by 4 means 1, x divided by x means 1, y divided by 1 because there is no y here, so it will equal y. So this is the factorization. Okay, guys, that's great. Then one more question. Factorize 21 a power 3 b power 2 minus 7a squared b squared minus 35a squared b power 3. Okay, now guys, the first step I have to get the HCF. Okay, equals. First I have to check the coefficients 21, 7, 35. Okay, so first number is 21, then the second is 7, then 35. So I have to check, okay, the lowest number first. This is 7. Okay, so do the other numbers is divisible by 7? Yes, 21 is divisible by 7. 35 is divisible by 7. And 7, of course, is divisible by 7. So the highest common factor here for the numbers is 7. Then a power 3, a power 2, a power 2. So the lowest power here, of course, a power 2. Then b power 2, b power 2, b power 3. So the lowest power here on b is b power 2. So this is the common factor, highest common factor I mean. Okay, guys, now the next step. Place or put the highest common factor, which is 7a squared, b squared, then brackets like this. Okay, so first step, I have to divide the first term by the highest common factor. So 21 divided by 7 means a 3. A power 3 divided by a power 2 means a. B squared divided by b squared, 1. Okay, so I don't have to write 1, of course, guys. Okay, because all terms is multiplied by 1. Any term is multiplied by 1. As we know, 1 is the multiplicative identity or the multiplicative neutral, so nothing will change because 3a actually times 1 equals 3a. Nothing. So I don't have to write it. Okay, so it's a 3a. Then negative 7 divided by 7, it's 1. A squared divided by a squared, it's 1. B squared divided by b squared, it's 1. So in this case, guys, I have to write 1. If there is a variable, I don't have to write the number 1. If there is no variables, then I have to write 1. Okay, then minus 35 divided by 7, it's 5. A power 2 divided by a power 2, it's 1. B power 3 divided by b power 2, it will equal b. So this is the factorization. Guys, by the way, if I want to check if my factorization is correct or not, okay, then I have to multiply the HCF to all elements inside the bracket to check. This is not included in the solution steps, but I just tell you if you want to check. So 7 times 3, 21. A squared times A power 3. Then B power 2 minus this term times 1. So the same term, 7A squared, B squared minus 7 times 5, 35. B squared times B power 3. Then, sorry, I have to write A first. A squared times, so A squared, okay? B squared times B, so B power 3. Okay, check the two terms here, guys, and here. It's the same exactly. Okay, so that my factorization is correct 100%. Of course, the question, if it's about factorization, so the answer or the solution ends here. This is only to check. Okay, this step only to check that the factorization is correct. Okay, guys? Okay. Sometimes, guys, sometimes the HCF of an algebraic expression consists more than one algebraic term. Here it's only one algebraic term. 7A squared, B squared. Sometimes it will be more than one term. Okay? Like what? Like this example. Concentrate with me well in this one. If it's x minus y, then multiplied by x plus 3y, okay, then plus 2x times x minus y. X minus y, like this. So now, guys, how many terms do I have here? Actually, there is a positive sign here. So this is one term, this is one term. Okay, now get the highest common factor. Okay, simply, guys, simply highest common factor equals here x minus y and 3 and x plus 3y, and the other term 2x times x minus y. Okay, so what is the term which is repeated? Okay, here in these two terms, actually it's x minus y and x minus y. So now the highest common factor here, it's x minus y, like this. Now, guys, the next step, place the highest common factor, which is x minus y, then the brackets. What will be the remaining of the first term? Look at the first term, guys. We said that x minus y is the highest common factor. So the remaining only x plus 3y. So x plus 3y. Okay? Okay, so x plus 3y, then positive sign. This one. Then what will be the remaining here? X plus y times 2x. So x plus y divided. So there is a remaining 2x. So plus 2x. So simply, guys, there is x and 2x here. So it will equal x minus y, which is the highest common factor, times 2x and x means 3x plus 3y. So now this is my factorization and the question is finished. Okay. One more question, again to the easy questions. Again, one more question, which is very easy so that you can understand. Okay, factorize 3x plus 21y, two different variables. Okay, because I got some questions right now on chat. Okay, if it's different variables. Okay, no problem. Here, 3 and 21. So HCF will equal 3. X and Y totally different, so nothing is common here. Okay, so now, guys, only 3 is the highest common factor. So 3, then brackets. X plus 21 divided by 3 means 7. Y divided by 1, because we don't have Y here, so it will be Y. That's it. Okay, guys? Okay. One more example. One more example. If it's 3x times a plus b minus 7 times a plus b. And if it's the same example exactly, it's a 3x times a plus b minus 9a plus b times a plus b. How to solve these two examples? The first one, H.C.F. Okay, now guys, H.C.F will equal, check the two terms. Actually, there is a plus b and a plus b. Okay, what else? 3x and 7. Nothing is common here. So only a plus b is the common factor, or the highest common factor. Now, write down the highest common factor, a plus b, then the brackets. What will be the remaining from the first term? Actually, 3x. Then the negative sign. Then what will be the remaining from the second term? Actually, it will be only 7. Okay, so 3x minus 7. That's it. The next one. What will be the highest common factor here? Actually, a plus b exists on the two terms. But just 1 second, it's not only this. There is 3x and 9. Okay, so 3 and 9, there is a highest common factor, or I mean there is a common factor here. Actually, it's a 3. So the highest common factor will be 3 times a plus b. Okay, now guys, write down the highest common factor, which is 3 times a plus b. Then the brackets. What will be the remaining here from the first term? It's a 3 times a plus b, so only x? Yes, of course. Then minus 9 times a plus b divided by 3 times a plus b, so the remaining only will be 3? Yes. So this is the factorization. Okay, that's great. Now the next question, okay? Use the factorization by identifying the highest common factor to find the result of each of the following. It's only numbers, guys. This time only numbers. It's very easy, actually. So 57 times 43 minus 57 times 33. Okay, first step, I have to identify the HCF. So HCF in this case will equal. Check the numbers, guys. Here, the first term, 57, and here on the second term, 57. Okay. Then there is 43 and 33. If there is a common factor between 43 and 33, no. So the only common factor here, or the highest common factor, will be 57. Okay, then the next step, write down the highest common factor, then your brackets. What will be the remaining from the first term? Actually, it's 43 only, so 43. Then negative sign or minus. Then what will be the remaining element here? 33, so minus 33. Okay, guys, so now we can write down 57 times 43 minus 33 means it equals 10. So 57 times 10 means 570. Okay, one more example like this so that we can understand it. Okay, if it's 35 times 17 plus 18 times 35. Now, guys, the first step, identify the HCF. Okay, now 35 here and here, so 35. What else? 17 and 18, no common factor between them. So the only common factor here is 35, so it will be the highest common factor. Okay, so now write down the highest common factor, which is 35, and the brackets like this. Now what will be the remaining from the first term? 35 already here, so the remaining will be 17. Then plus here 35 is already exists here. It's a common factor, so the remaining element is 18. So it will equal 35 times 35. Now get the result using the calculator, okay? Because I don't know exactly. Okay. So the next question, if the numbers are like this, 153 squared minus 153 times 53. Okay, if there is any difference here? No, of course. Because this 153 squared means it's 153 times itself. Guys, we said that, okay? Any number, okay, squared like 2 squared means it's 2 times 2, right? So the number or the variable, okay, squared means the number times itself, okay? So 153 times 153 minus 153 times 53. Now it becomes very easy. How to get the highest common factor? Highest common factor. 153 is here and here. Okay, so the highest common factor will equal 153. So now place the highest common factor and the brackets. 153 times, what will be the remaining from the first term? 153. Then minus, what will be the remaining here? Only 53. So it will equal 153 times 100. So it will equal 15300, like this. Okay, one more example with this squared numbers. Okay, and also it will be this time 3 terms. Okay, let's check. Okay, so 4 times 10 squared plus 24 times 10 minus 28 times 10 again. Okay, how many terms do we have here? How many terms here, guys? There is a positive sign here and negative sign here, so 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. Okay, check for the highest common factor. Okay, so highest common factor will equal. Guys, concentrate well. There is 10 here and 10 here and 10 squared. We said that 10 squared means 10 times 10. Okay, so highest common factor from this all numbers is 10. What else? There is 4, 24, 28. If there is a common factor here, yes, of course. These 3 numbers are divisible by 4, of course. 4 is divisible by 4, 24 is divisible by 4, 28 is divisible by 4. So this means, mister, so the highest common factor will be 10 times 4. Yes, of course. So the next step, write down the highest common factor, 10 times 4, then the brackets. What will be the remaining from the first term? Check the first term, guys. 4 it already exists on the highest common factor. Okay, then 10 squared. Okay, so this means 10 times 10. There is 1 10 here, so the remaining only 1 10, like this. Then plus 10 already exists on the highest common factor. Okay, then 24. 24 divided by 4. So it will equal 6. Then the negative sign, minus. 10 is already exist. Okay, so 28 divided by 4 equals 7. Great. So now 4 times 10 means 40. Then the bracket 10 plus 6 means 16. 16 minus 7 means 9. So 40 times 9, 4 times 9, 36, so 360, like this. Now, guys, this one is clear? Okay, great. The next question, the same title of the question all the time, guys. Use factorization by identifying the highest common factor to find the result of each of the following. Okay, so the question is like this. 12 times 75 plus 13 times 75 plus 75 squared. Okay, now guys, let's check how to get the HCF. Okay, it's a very easy, mister. Okay, we can get it easily. Okay, go ahead. There is 75 here, 75 here, 75 here, but squared. Okay, no problem. So the highest common factor is 75. Don't forget to check the other elements. 12, 13. And here, of course, the remaining will be 75. So do we have a common factor between 12 and 13? No. Okay, so this means the highest common factor is 75 only. Okay, so the next step. Okay, write down the common factor, highest common factor, which is 75, then the two brackets. What will be the remaining of the first term? 75 is already exist, so 12, then plus 75 here, so 13, plus, now here 75 squared, which means 75 times 75. One of these two 75s exists on the highest common factor, so the remaining will be one of this 75s, so 75. Okay, now guys, it will equal 75 times 12 plus 13, which is 25, plus 75, which is equal 100. So 75 times 100 will equal 7500. Finished. Okay? Okay. One more question, and concentrate with me well. Fm minus 2n equal 10. Okay. Find, using the factorization by identifying the HCF, the numerical value of this expression. Okay, I want to get the numerical value for this expression. 3m times m minus 2n minus 6n times m minus 2n. Okay. Guys, here in this question, fm minus 2n, just 1 second, I will clear this one and write it again. M minus 2n equal 10. I want to get the numerical value for this one. 3m times m minus 2n minus 6n times m minus 2n. Okay. How to solve this one? Here, by using the factorization. Okay. No problem. First step. Okay. Factorization. So go ahead. Get the HCF. Okay. HCF. Now, m minus 2n. M minus 2n. Okay, so only m minus 2n. Take care. 3m, 6n. So 3 and 6. So this means 3 and 6, so there is a common factor here. Yes, of course. It's 3, because 3 and 6 is divisible by 3. So the common factor here, or the highest common factor here, will be first 3, then m minus 2n. Okay, now write down this highest common factor. So 3 times m minus 2n. Then the bracket. What will be the remaining here on the first term? Here, 3 times m minus 2n. M minus 2n is exist on the highest common factor and also 3. So the remaining will be only m. So m. Then minus m minus 2n exists here. So what will be the remaining? 6n. But there is 3 here. So 6 divided by 3 means 2. And here n, so 2n. Okay, so this is the factorization. What will be the next step now? I want to get the numerical value for this one. Okay, so it will equal 3. Then times m minus 2n. Aha, look at the top, guys. It's already given on the question. If m minus 2n equal 10, so this means I'm going to substitute with the value of m minus 2n here on the top. It equals 10. So 3 times n. What's the next? M minus 2n. The same? Yes. So times n, which is time 10, sorry. So 3 times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 mean 100. Then times 3. So it will equal 300. Now I got the numerical value. So actually, guys, we finished this lesson. And hopefully all of you understands the lesson of factorization well.